Hey, everybody, we're Geeking Out Ninjas, and we're here to geek out. Good evening, Craig.
Good evening, Jeremiah.
How are you doing?
I'm doing all right, Jeremiah. I'm
Just
doing all right.
just all right?
Yeah. I'm one of those people who you're never gonna get I'm doing really good. I'm doing
Really?
great. I'm not one of those people.
Ah,
I feel like those
uh,
people maybe always oversell how their life is going.
no, because I could tell you that I'm doing really, really good. I could if things were going really good.
Yeah.
But I tend to be over dramatic.
Okay.
I don't know if you picked up on that yet.
No, not at all.
Oh, yeah, exactly. So that's me. For everybody out there, I'm just a little over dramatic. Not like super over dramatic, just a little.
Yeah.
Eh, you know. So people say, I don't know.
So your wife says.
So yeah, yes, exactly. Exactly. So
Yeah.
what's new with you?
Saw a little movie called Shang-Chi yesterday evening.
Ooh. Did you
Yeah,
go to the theater or did you
we did. We went to the Alamo Draft House, which we love because they are really good about people. I guess people that go, at least when we go, are really good about wearing their mask.
uh we didn't wear our mask.
We wore a mask at the movie theater.
We didn't.
Did you go see it?
I did. We went on Monday.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. I think we forgot because it's just me and the boy went.
Yeah,
Um we didn't
it
think
was me
about
and my wife. So
that's nice. See, my wife did not want to see this movie.
really.
Yes.
My wife really enjoyed it.
Mine wouldn't.
You don't think so?
She's not. No, she
She's
would have
not,
said it.
no?
She would have said it was too violent. Just a lot of fighting.
Yeah.
There was a lot of fighting in
Isn't
it.
that like every Marvel movie?
Pretty much. Pretty much. She really didn't like the violence in Black Widow.
Okay.
So she sat this one out, which I thought was an amazing movie, by the way.
Which one?
Shang-Chi.
Shang-Chi. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was amazing.
I thought it was really
And
well done.
do we need to say a spoiler alert? Are we going to talk about stuff?
Nah.
No.
Not really get into any of the specifics. I mean, none of the trailers did. I thought the trailers did a really good job of keeping things non-specific. It's like
Yeah.
get you excited for the movie, but don't really give any plot points away. I feel like a lot of trailers do too much to give the story away nowadays. And it's like they're like walking you through the story. I'm like, no, I don't like want to see the movie in the trailer. Like, just like get me excited about your movie.
Yeah, yeah, and I thought it was conceptually. I mean, it was awesome. The story was awesome. It was just an overall really, really well done film.
Yes, I thought so as well.
I thought
They
it's yeah,
it's a good origin story for the
yes,
character of
hmm
Shang-Chi,
yeah.
who is known as Sean at the beginning of the movie.
Oh,
Not
spoiler
really,
alert.
not really a spoiler, but there's a joke in there about his name being Sean and Shang.
Yes.
Uh, it's pretty funny. I like Aquafina. I feel like I mean, she kind of gets typecast in this role where she's just like the funny comedic sidekick, but she does a really good job of it. So I don't mind it.
And what it is, but she is, but it's not typically a female. I would say is the
Not
comedic.
in this kind of movie, no, but she does get this role
Yeah,
a lot.
yeah, she does. But she did a really good job. I think everybody did a really good job.
Yeah,
I was really impressed with the movie, and I mean, I like all the Marvel movies, so but I think this one, uh, really, really, it was cool. It was a cool movie to watch. It was a
yeah.
lot of fun.
I feel like they're doing a better job of better representing other people than white males.
Yes.
nowadays. I mean, not just that he's Chinese, but I think they did a really good job with the women in his life, in his world, in the
Mhm.
movie. So that was really good to see. Not just Aquafina, but his mom and his aunt and his sister.
Yeah,
I think they did a really good job with those three characters. So just
I would agree.
it's good to see that they're giving good roles to other people besides just white guys.
I agree. But I will say that I like I love Ben Kingsley. He's an amazing
Oh,
actor.
that's a spoiler.
No, it's not. He's in the movie.
I didn't know he was in the movie.
You didn't?
No,
Did you watch the internet short on Disney Plus? All
no.
Hail the King? So right after Iron Man 3, Marvel did a bunch of internet shorts. Were like 10-minute vignettes of movies.
Yeah,
And so he's in one.
yeah,
This is the only one that's on Disney Plus. The other ones you'll have to go find on YouTube. But
yeah.
he's in it. And in that short little vignette, he is taken out of prison.
Right.
And he's going to see the
Somewhere.
person that, because in the Iron Man 3, he calls himself the Mandarin, but he's not.
Yeah,
He's just an actor.
yeah.
Right. And so,
There's a joke about that in the movie as well.
right. Um, and so I don't know. I want big, he's such an amazing actor. I just wanted a bigger, I was expecting maybe something different to happen than what did. Is that spoiling it? You got to go see the movie.
You got to go see the movie. I
You
mean,
got to
if
go
you're
see the movie.
most people who have wanted to see it probably have seen it by now when this podcast comes out. If you haven't, and somehow we ruin something,
But I will
you
say,
shouldn't
like,
listen to our podcast.
if you're a fan of kung fu movies,
Yeah,
this is just a must see anyways, because it was a really good kung fu movie. I mean, it tied into the Marvel universe, but you could go see it without having knowledge of the MCU.
oh yeah, totally. You don't have to
And
have any knowledge of the MCU,
no,
the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
it's a really fun, just kind of, you know, kung fu movie.
Yeah,
I never really was a kung fu movie fan growing up. Like I know people that just like loved all these kung fu movies. I didn't. But one of the cool things about going to see the movie at Alamo Draft House is that they show these things before the movie,
right.
and they kind of showed the history of kung fu movies. And I did not realize how fantasy filled these movies were.
Oh yeah. Well,
You
the
know.
ones that they picked out were obviously tied into the movie to some degree because they always do a really good job of that. But yeah, they were a very very specific um, movie company that
Right.
that they pointed out. But yeah, that it was interesting to see that kind of thing
Yeah. Yeah. But really, really, really cool movie. Go see it or wait for it on Disney Plus. It's worth it.
in a few months.
Yeah. Yeah.
What's new
Really
with
cool.
you, Jeremiah? Besides you seeing Shang-Chi?
The only other thing that I have going on is that I am. Most of you know that I got a new job a few weeks ago.
What?
I did.
Plot twist?
Really?
I don't know.
I don't know. I think I said this before. I was
You
leaving the
did.
real estate company,
You said
and
it a couple times.
so they have asked for volunteers of what they're calling WellBeingU.
Okay.
And I don't have much details yet. I just accepted the opportunity to be a volunteer. I do know I'll be getting a Fitbit.
Oh, so you're joining that.
Yes, yes. I'm one of the volunteers that are trying this on. And I don't think it's all about fitness, because I think it's also uh,
Oh,
journaling.
oh, really? Maybe about mental health as well?
Yes, I think it's kind of all encompassing. And I do know, like, I'm gonna have to make notes on an app daily, and it will even have to do with how, I guess, like your mental, physical, and then your work life balance.
What's the school that you're doing work for, or what school?
It's for the community colleges of California.
Okay, I'm wondering if Cal State LA is part of that, because I just did a Google search and they have a WellBeingU, like part of a podcast.
It could be, because actually our company actually doesn't just do community colleges. They actually have contracts with different parts of the state of California. So I don't know exactly what all these projects are or what all they do, but it's not just I'm part of a small project within a larger.
Is there an app that you have to download?
Oh, I'm assuming so. Again, I don't have any details yet.
Ugh.
I'm still waiting on those, but I am going to be a part of it.
At least you're a part of something, Jeremiah. And really, at the end of the day, as long as you're a part of something, that's all that matters.
And I need help with physical and mental health.
Who doesn't?
Yes. Well, it's high up on my list.
I feel like a lot of us need help with our mental health.
Yeah.
Something that maybe we as a society don't talk about enough.
You're right. And I do have anxiety. I do have depression. I am on medication. It does
I have
make
those
life,
things as well. I'm not on medication though.
It helps me.
I just take it out on other people.
Well, when I get off my medication, that's what I do. So we all handle it differently. We all do different things. Some have it more severe than others, and others are, but this is something that's going to be added to my mental health that'll help me deal with things better.
Maybe.
That's maybe why I'm a little bit over dramatic. I don't know. But yeah, it's cool. It's cool. We'll definitely inform everybody as I go through it once we get the details. And
we're going to need a progress update every week. I want to know all the deets.
Did I tell you I was hypnotized?
At work?
Yes. I didn't tell you about this?
At work?
All right. So, yeah, not at
Welcome
this job.
to Story Time with Jeremiah, where he tells you about the time he got hypnotized.
I recently got hypnotized.
Hold on. Before you talk about being hypnotized, Jeremiah, let's do a little pre-cap here.
All right. Go for it.
Keep people waiting for that story. Are you ready to talk about that 8K 85-inch TV you've always wanted? Telescopes that can see the beginning of time? Or maybe, you just want a robot to mow your lawn. Or, your phone to magically charge without it having to leave your pocket. These are all things we're going to be talking about on this episode of Geeking Out Ninjas. Now back to Jeremiah's hypnosis story. Go.
I know you've been waiting for this the whole 2 minutes. So
bated breath. I did that whole intro with one breath.
Have you ever seen a hypnotist on television or in person? You kind of know what they do. It's kind of cool. Typically in a show, they bring people on stage and then they hypnotize them to do wacky things, whatever it may be.
I believe the term is wackadoo.
Wackadoo. And you talk to the people afterwards, like, oh, it was real. So there's always a little if, does it work, doesn't work, whatever. So at the previous company I was at, there was a person that went to get trained. It was more of a professional coaching type training, but they did teach them how to hypnotize. And so what happened was this person came back, and on my last day, I said, why don't you practice on me?
Mm-hmm.
She said, okay. So it didn't take very long. I think it took us maybe half an hour, probably less, but we go into her office and she sat me down in her chair.
This doesn't sound like you're being hypnotized. This sounds like something else, Jeremiah.
I was hypnotized.
Maybe we shouldn't tell the story.
From all what I remember, So, so we sit down, and so she had a script,
Mhm.
and she asked, "Well, what do I want to put into my subconscious?" And I was like, "Well, I want to exercise more." She said, "Well, you got to get more specific than that." I said, "Okay, well, I want to walk more." "Okay, you got to get more specific than
Oh my
that."
God.
Okay, so
I want to walk 5 miles on Monday, 4 miles on Tuesday.
oh, yeah, basically, so what we did was we got it down to I want to walk 1 mile 3 times a week. Okay. And so, all right, that's cool. So she has her script, and it's something that was written back from the person that really started making it used quite often. I don't remember the doctor's name, but anyways, so essentially, take a deep breath, uh, relax is the whole thing. She goes through her script. I start counting down from 100, and I remember the whole experience. I
Yeah.
remember it. Um, and we got to the point where she talked about me wanting, I will be walking 1 mile 3 times a week, and she brought me out of it, and I have not walked.
It obviously didn't
It
didn't
didn't
have an
didn't
effect
take.
on your subconscious.
I will say that I had talked to hypnotists before, prior,
Yeah.
and they do say, a lot of times it's more than one session, because a lot of people get hypnotized to quit smoking or to lose weight, and so a lot of
Sure.
times it takes more than one. I will say I think about it all the time. When I'll just be sitting, doing work, whatever, I think about, walking 1 mile 3 times a week. So it's in there.
And you're like, I'm gonna eat this donut.
Exactly. I had a craving for Shipley donuts the other day, and I went and I bought donuts. So, um,
Thinks about
I
walking
won't,
all the time,
I
has
won't walk,
not gone out and walked.
but I have had a cinnamon twist. Anyways, I will say after the hypnosis, like immediately after, I was the most relaxed that I could ever remember being. It was such a great feeling. I felt like I couldn't, because we all went to lunch.
Yeah.
I felt like I couldn't even drive. Like I was that relaxed. Like I'm not even going to drive. I'm going to ride with someone. It was a really cool, relaxing experience. The exercise, but I felt really cool afterwards. So that's my story. Hypnosis. It kind of works.
Maybe.
Maybe. I'd do it again.
After 4 sessions
Maybe I'll walk.
and an extra $2,500 donation to the foundation of their choice.
I will say we should maybe, what? Someone wants to sponsor me getting hypnotized. Why don't we, you can donate on Facebook.
We'll do it on the podcast if someone wants to volunteer a hypnotist to
Oh,
hypnotize Jeremiah. I will allow this to happen on the podcast.
I will so do that. That would be awesome. So check your Facebook, find out who a hypnotist is. We'll have them on. We'll interview them, and then they can hypnotize me. I'll reach out to my friend.
If it's not a real hypnotist, I mean, don't try to fake us. We don't want that noise.
We'll spot that happening.
Yes.
Oh, that's a great show idea.
From a couple of inches away.
Mark the tape. Do we have tape anymore?
What tape?
It's an old radio term. No.
Let me get the pin.
Awesome. Okay. So that was my story. I hope you liked it. Maybe we'll have something on that in the future. That'd be cool. I think we can make it happen.
The power is in your hands, audience.
That's right. That's right. All right.
On to the news. TCL, everybody's favorite Roku TV maker, recently announced that they are going to make Google TVs.
Yay.
And Roku TVs. They were like, you know what? These are the two big players out there. We're just going to kind of cover our bases here. So not as part of that, but just throwing that out there, just in case everybody only thinks that TCL is making Roku TVs. They are introducing their X9 series mini LED Google TVs. And their X9 series is just gigantor TVs. They start at like 80 inches, I believe, is the small size that they are going to ship.
That's the small size.
Yeah, it's the small size. They have their XL
Wow.
collection is large screen TVs exceeding 80 inches.
I totally need one of these.
I would love to have a TV that's like 100 inches. I have a 77-inch TV, and I could totally go for like a 100-inch TV.
See, I only got 60. Maybe I got 65. I don't know. It's not big enough.
Yeah, we had a 60-inch before, and the 77. So it's a drastic increase in size. But this 85-inch 8K TV made of mini LED, which is the creme de la creme of LED TVs nowadays. Also sometimes known as QLED, or LG calls them QNED TVs. They're all the same technology. Has a mind-boggling suggested retail price of $10,000. But it's a pretty nice looking TV. I don't know if it's a really thin TV, like an OLED TV is thin. It's the thinnest LED TV that I've seen. What kind of sets us apart, though, to me. Yeah, there you go. Jeremiah's sharing his screen.
Is that really it?
Yeah, that's the TV. So what's kind of cool about this is it includes like a sound bar to give you 5.1.2 like Dolby Atmos surround sound.
That is crazy.
Obviously, there's some benefits to and some negatives to that. The negative being that, once you want to get sound from something else, it's going to be you're just going to have like one thing on top of another thing. But
yeah,
still, I mean, pretty sleek looking TV, and it includes the sound built in. If you're looking for a $10,000 TV, and you just need to get one from TCL, this is your TV.
I don't even have a 4K TV.
I don't know what to do with that information, Jeremiah. I think all of my TVs are 4K now.
Yeah, they're just not on the top of my priority list.
I hear you.
Is there a difference
between what?
4K and not 4K?
I think
I would ask 8K, but obviously you don't have one yet.
I don't have an 8K TV, nor will I have one probably in the next, 9 years. There's a pretty dramatic difference between 4K and 1080p content. Things are just sharper, really.
Well, my eyes are getting old, so it doesn't matter.
The big things you're getting from the TVs that include 4K nowadays are that the colors are usually a lot better in these newer TVs, but you're also getting high dynamic range, or HDR. So that means the highlights are brighter. There's better contrast in color. All those things come from HDR, and I don't think there's probably a single 1080p TV that does HDR. Everything's going to be 4K. So I think really when you're getting a 4K TV, it's all the bonus things that come along with the 4K that makes it worthwhile. It's not just the resolution itself. I mean, that's nice, but only if you have 4K content, obviously.
Sure.
If you're streaming from like Netflix or Disney Plus or Apple TV or whatever, I mean, then you're going to start getting like Dolby Vision, HDR, and 4K and Dolby Atmos if you have something like a soundbar like this. So I mean, you'll get some of the benefits of that from a 4K TV. Not just all 4K TVs, but mostly 4K TVs that came out in the last like couple of years. So yeah, I mean, there's some good stuff, but 8K, 85-inch, $10,000, top of the line TCL TV. I don't know if I. No offense to TCL, but I don't know if I'd spend 10 grand on a TCL TV. I forgot to mention, this also comes with a camera built in, so you can do Google Duo video chats.
Well, obviously, you'd want to do that.
It's a pop-up camera too, so it's not out all the time, which is kind of nice if you want
That's got
quote
to be
unquote
a
privacy.
super thin camera too.
Oh yeah, I mean, I'm sure it's probably about the same size as you would get from like a cell phone.
That is going for the business customer there. That way you could buy it for your business because you're using it for meetings.
You could, but you could also just use it for, those lovely chats with grandma, where grandma's now bigger than you are because she's on an 85-inch TV.
And she's in 8K.
Yeah. Well, I don't know about that. She's in like 720p upscaled to 8K. I'm sure it'll look just peachy.
Just as crisp and clear because her camera will be an iPhone 7.
Yeah, exactly. It'll be the one with the thumb button still there, the home button.
Speaking of, new iPhones come out next week.
Yes, next week's episode, I'm sure will be all about the new iPhones and other Apple devices that are coming out.
Yes, sir.
So get excited for next week's episode.
A little bit of a preview there.
Where we talk all things Apple.
Yay, Apple.
Yay. Hooray, beer.
All right. Let's move on to this amazing. We're talking about high prices. Let's talk about this 10 billion with a B $1 billion telescope.
Yeah.
Launching in December.
Yeah. This the James Webb Space Telescope is set to essentially replace the Hubble telescope,
which is old.
Yeah, that's a good point. How old is Hubble? Hubble telescope. It's been out there since like the 90s. Yeah, was launched into low Earth orbit in 1990. Remains in operation. It had some computer issues recently, but they were able to switch to like a backup system and get everything working again. But the images that they have been able to pull from Hubble telescope are mind-blowing. Let me see if I can.
So is this telescope going to give us pictures in 8K?
So it's not really about getting higher resolution photos. It's about seeing different wavelengths of light,
right?
And for longer periods of time. And so it'll be able to see more wavelengths of light longer than those of the Hubble telescope. So what this means in practice is that so that's the Ariane rocket. Ariane 5. I feel like they should have gone with a different name than Ariane, or maybe I'm just saying it wrong. I just think of Nazi Germany when I hear Ariane.
Ariane.
But what they're essentially trying to do is see to the beginning of time. So they're trying to see back to the Big Bang. And so kind of interesting that they're trying to do that kind of stuff. This one is supposed to make it happen. This telescope, I'm trying to remember when this thing was supposed to first be launched into space, because it was a long time ago. I think it's been delayed by development began in 1996 for a launch that was initially planned for 2007.
Wow.
And the budget was originally $500 million.
I think they just went over a little bit.
I think there might have been a bit of a problem with the project at some points. Underwent a major redesign in 2005. Construction was completed in late 2016, after which its extensive testing phase began. 2018, NASA further delayed the launch after the telescope's sunshield ripped during a practice deployment. Delayed again in June 2018, following recommendations from an independent review board. So this thing has just been problem after problem for essentially 15 years.
Right.
So it's nice that they're finally getting this out there, going to actually get some images from it. Hopefully starting, my guess is, so it launches in December. It's probably going to take a while for them to get it up and operational. So my guess is you probably won't see images from it until January of 2022.
At the earliest.
At the earliest, yeah. But I'm honestly just curious what kind of images they're going to get. Because if you, I think is it called the Fingers of God? What is I'm trying to think of the Hubble picture that is super famous. I mean, there are just so many images that the Hubble has captured. What is this one called? Pillars of Creation, sorry. This is not a good version of this photo.
Are you sharing it?
I was going to, if I can ever get it up. Did you find it?
I found it for sale.
That's good.
On Amazon.
Oh, I just hear my kids. They left the fridge open. The fridge starts to beep after a while. There you go. The Pillars of Creation. Images like that. I mean, it's just...
That's pretty cool.
Amazing photos that they've taken of different galaxies and nebulas and all sorts of really cool things that we, can't see with the naked eye. But I mean, these are not necessarily things that you can take with just a regular telescope. They have to be, you have to capture the image at different wavelengths, like an infrared or even I think they have X-ray that they can use to capture images in space. There's just so many different forms of imaging that they use with telescopes. It's amazing to see that kind of stuff. So
yeah, for example, down here it says the blue colors in the image represent oxygen. Red is sulfur and green represents both nitrogen and hydrogen.
Yeah. So it's, yeah, I'm just, that's, I mean, to be honest, that's the thing I'm most curious about is just what are they going to be able to see with this that they couldn't see before?
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Pretty amazing.
On to less scientific things. Maybe you just need something to make your meetings easier at your house because you're still working from home. Maybe this could be a good thing for Jeremiah.
I am totally thinking about this.
So Logitech is releasing a new dock, mostly for laptop users. It is $400. I'm just going to throw that out at the beginning. I feel like that's maybe a bit much.
Yes. Unless the company's paying for it. Yes.
Yeah. Lets you connect up to 5 USB devices and 2 monitors, all while still charging your laptop with that single USB-C connection back to your laptop. Mm-hmm. The dock supports Google Meet, Microsoft Teams, and Zoom. And it has some buttons on the device itself. Let me actually share my screen this time.
Too late.
You got it before me.
I sure did.
So it has a mute microphone button. It has a camera on and off button. Got your volume buttons, and then I believe the one in the middle is to like hang up and start the call. Some of the cool things it does is it connects to your calendar based from the Logitech Tune software that comes with it, and it will light up, letting you know, hey, there's a meeting that you need to join, and you just press that circular button in the middle, and it'll pop you right into the meeting. And then if camera's off, boom, you press the little camera button, it's on, unmute yourself, do all that kind of fun stuff. So, I mean, pretty cool. Also, the speaker is really good in this thing. Should be comparable to some of their other conference room speakers and microphones. So you're getting good sound quality out of it. So I think for me, as an IT person, I would totally buy this for people that are working from home all the time, because this would make it easier for people to use multiple monitors, have that video conference without having like AirPods in or something like that. Does the echo cancellation and noise cancellation, since it's got the microphone and the speaker built in, so it does all the difficult things for you, so you don't have to worry about any of that kind of stuff. But I mean, it looks pretty nice.
Yeah, it's small. I would totally use this 100%.
So
I'm sure the price will come down once they sell a few, or somebody else will come out with their own
similar item. Yeah, I mean, my guess, to me, it should have been like $300. I think they're maybe about $100 too high on that, but we'll let the market figure that out.
Yeah.
Let them know when nobody is buying it.
No, but it's a great little device and will come in super handy.
Indeed.
Another thing that is going to be super handy if it ever comes out, is this wireless charging. So
not just regular wireless charging.
Over the air wireless charger that can charge 4 devices simultaneously. I can't say words, Craig. We had this happen. Thank you. We had this issue last time.
Up to 3 meters away, and for all those who don't know the metric system, that's about 10 feet.
That's amazing.
You would have to put this thing on like a coffee table in the middle of the room to charge most people's devices in a room.
Now, what I was trying to look in here, so Motorola.
Yeah.
This is their 2nd generation.
This is.
So they've got something, and they're improving on it. But is this only Motorola devices?
I don't even know if it works with any real devices in the real world. My guess is they're not the only ones doing this. So Motorola, you may or may not know, is owned by a Chinese company at this point. And so it seems like there's a race in China to come up with this wireless charging technology. So Xiaomi is coming up with their own version of this. Oppo is coming up with their own version of this. I think they're all competing to be first so that they can set the standard that the industry uses. And I think once there's a standard set of some kind, and it's safe, obviously, then there'll be a consortium of companies that get behind it. Just like the Qi wireless chargers, there was a consortium that got behind that and made it a real thing where you can actually put your phone on a surface and it charges. But I think this is probably at least 5 years away, if not more.
Right. Yeah, there's no timeline at this point from Motorola anyways.
Oh yeah. So we will see.
Yep. Call me when it's ready.
Sames. Oh, what the thing that was crazy to me is that this device has 1,600 antennas in it.
Yes, I did see that.
Holy smokes, that's a lot of antennas.
And it only charges 4 devices.
Yeah.
If this is the picture of it, let me show it. That's rather large.
It is a rather large device.
I don't know that I want that on my living room.
Exactly.
Coffee table. I mean,
I think once they make it better, they'll end up putting this in like a picture frame. It'll be behind like a piece of art that you can change out the artwork on, is my guess, is how they'll make this a mass market product. I mean, that's what I would do. That way it's completely hidden. You don't see this weird
router.
Yeah. Rectangular, gigantic router sitting somewhere on a table. But who
Yeah.
knows? But that could block the signal, so who knows?
Yeah, that's pretty crazy right there. I, I mean, that's cool and all that you want to be the first to do it, but I don't know. That's
It's all still
form
prototypes.
form over fashion, right?
Yes. Uh, Speaking of form over fashion, I feel like this would be the one thing that I would get out of all the things we've talked about on this show. Segway, who we all are familiar with from making segways and watching people in tours in all over different cities roaming around in segways.
They are so much fun.
Uh, they are making a robot mower. So there have been robot mowers out there before. A lot of them use a guide wire. Um, you have to put the wire all the way around your yard so the mower knows, hey, I'm not supposed to leave. It's like an electric fence for dogs, but for mowers. And this one by Segway actually uses GPS to stay on your lawn and keep it neatly trimmed. So you don't have to install that boundary wire. I'm really curious if this works. So they say it is good. It's accurate to within 2 centimeters, which is yeah, that's pretty
That's
good.
that's really good.
Uh,
I'm not even that good.
yeah, right. If its GPS signal is temporarily weak, the mower has sensors that will keep it mowing. So it has ultrasonic sensors, kind of like a robot vacuum. So obviously it's not going to just like run over all the things and escape the yard. Um, but I'm super curious if this works. And once they get it down to a better price, I'm like all over this. I, the thing I like about robot mowers is that it's like a constant mowing. So it's not like it doesn't mow once a week. It mows every single day. A
Really?
little, yeah. So it just cuts the smallest of grass every single day. Um,
See, and
so
that scares me.
why is that? It's
Like,
actually better for your grass.
sure, although I have children, of course they're older now, so it's not that much of a deal. But I also have a pet that likes to take his toys out.
Yeah.
And so I know when lawn day comes, I've got to go clean up the yard, pick things up.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess essentially that it would mow the same section every so many days,
Right.
but I have to be aware of it. And that means I have to go, like right now. Well, actually, I just started a lawn service last week because we're just not cutting our grass this year for whatever reason. But I know when they're coming, I go get the toys or whatever else gets left in the yard by living things in my house. And I don't know. I don't know that I could do this with an automatic mower. I can't even do it with an automatic vacuum.
Yeah. Vacuums tend to suck up a lot of things. You're like, what are you doing?
Mm-hmm.
Uh, it does have a blade halt technology built in that can detect things in the grass like pets, toys, or kids and stops the mower's blades from spinning.
Well, that's good.
It will not chop your child's legs off,
Oh,
uh, in theory.
wow.
It can also withstand rainfall, heavy splashing, and high pressure water jets. I'm not sure what high pressure water jets. I guess maybe if someone's doing the power washer nearby.
Or
But
doing maybe your sprinkler system goes off at the same time.
I would hope that you have that scheduled better. But
You
who
know,
knows?
did we talk? I have a Wi-Fi sprinkler system thing. Did we talk about that?
I
I
feel
think we
like
did when I bought it. Yeah, but my wife can't even miss the sprinkler system, so I don't know how this would. I've already got to replace heads.
uh, it can mow a lawn up to 500 square meters or about 5,400 square feet an area on a charge. It's also relatively quiet at 54 decibels.
Mm-hmm. Not bad.
Seems like it's quieter than most mowers, and I think it's because of the fact that it's chopping every single day or every couple of days. The base price for this starts at $1,425. If you want one that can mow a larger area, so they have one that's 800 square meters. That one is $1,700. If you want one that can tackle a lawn that's 1,500 square meters, that's $2,375. And if you want one for a 3,000 square meter yard, that racks up around $3,000.
So
I hope you have a small yard.
And so is this available? Because they're giving us meters and euros.
Yeah.
So is this available in Europe?
I imagine it is in Europe. I don't know if it's available in America yet.
It's not.
It's not.
And they haven't said when they will be available yet in the US.
Ugh.
So are we we're just not allowed to have it?
Apparently not.
I guess we have certain laws that just don't allow us to have GPS guided lawnmowers.
We can have a lot of other stupid stuff. We can tell people. Never mind.
We're not a political podcast.
No, I could totally get into it though.
I know you could.
So there are some other cool things. So in the app, you can draw out essentially the marker of like where it can go, but you can also set off limits areas too. So maybe you have patio or furniture that's in your yard, or a playground that's in your yard. It'll avoid that area completely. So I mean that's pretty cool.
It is cool. I just there's automation on. I don't know that it would work great yet. And I say this just because I'm so unsatisfied with my home vacuum. I can't even imagine having something to cut my grass and it working properly.
I don't know, Jeremiah. This image looks conclusive that I'm sharing here. They're showing two kids playing next to this lawnmower, cutting the grass. That is unrealistic in any shape or form. My kids would be running. My kids run away from the vacuum robot. They're gonna sit there while this. They've got an image of the dog sitting in front of it.
Yeah,
that dog is not, that dog is either
so
looking at it or it's going to be running away from it.
Yes, our dog hides from the vacuum. Like he knows when the vacuum comes out, he needs to get away. So it's cool. It's nice that things are coming along, but is that a kid sleeping? Because it's so quiet. Now there's a picture of the kid in the tent actually taking a nap within 2 meters of the lawnmower mowing the grass.
I love that the teddy bear is just sitting there. Like the kid's nobody's playing with this teddy bear. It's just decoration for this lawn.
There would be grass clippings all over that kid.
Well, I don't know. I don't know about the grass clippings because it seems like it does a pretty good job of.
We don't know. That's just pictures that obviously they're photoshopping.
You are probably 100% right. Let's become a dealer and start selling these things. Let's figure this out. I'm all about this sort of stuff. If I don't have to mow my yard and I don't have to pay someone else to do it, even better. Because you think about it, even if this thing costs a lot of money, right? And we're just going with the thought that this works.
Right.
It's going to save you money in the long run.
Well,
not having to pay somebody to come out every week or every couple of weeks or whatever.
So assuming that we can get this cheap one because our yard's not that big.
It won't let me buy it.
It's because your IP address is in the United States and it knows it can't sell it here.
Your mother's IP address is in The United States.
It is. So what is it? $1,200? No, $1,400, right?
No, it's less than that. These are euros.
It's $1,400. Is the base price for the minimum.
You're right. It is $1,425.
Right. So I'm going to do some simple math here. So let's say I pay $40 every 2 weeks.
You must have a much smaller yard than I do.
I do. My yard's actually not that big.
My yard is gigantic. I would probably need the biggest one.
It would take 35 mows at $40 a pop. And I do every 2 weeks in the summer and then monthly. So I mean, I'm looking at like 3 or 4 years to kind of make my money back here.
I think that's only like 2. It's only like 2 years.
I don't cut it. I mean, I rarely cut it during the winter months.
I know, but even if you do it like twice.
I'm trying to be over dramatic here, Craig.
I'm trying to reel you back in, Jeremiah. So totally pay itself off in 2 years. The rest of it would be gravy, and you would be like, "Let make it rain."
It doesn't edge.
It does not edge. You would have to edge.
Yeah. So I'm still spending time edging. I don't know.
But that's the easy part. Takes a whole lot less time.
It needs to be like $400. $400. And then maybe I'd think about it.
You can go get one of those cheap ones that has the guide wire.
But no, again, I still have to go out and do things. I'm paying my $40 every 2 weeks, and they cut, they edge, and they blow the clippings out.
I was waiting for the clippings part.
Into the yard. It's not in my driveway. It's not in the street. Plus, I have stone in different places, and so I don't know, like, how well does it go over bumps or roots?
Totally fine.
No, I'm
assuming that this robot is the best thing that's ever happened, and you are saying it's
raining on your parade.
You are like, this is the worst piece of garbage I've ever heard of in my life.
And it's all because of my past experiences with mowing the lawn and having automatic machines do housework. It hasn't worked out for me. My jaded past.
My wife is an automatic machine that does housework, and she has worked out.
And she listens to the podcast.
I'm just waiting for her to look at me whenever she's listening to the podcast.
That's something I could say because my wife doesn't listen. I want to be there. I just want to be there.
So here's the deal. Me and my wife have a really good relationship where we can joke about stuff like that. But we will look at each other, and you know something has been heard that's like, wait a minute.
That is awesome.
I know exactly what she just heard, because I've had it a couple times on this podcast where I've said something, and she'll just look at me, and I'm like, oh, she got to that part.
It's entertainment, babe. It's entertainment. It's for the value.
It's all for our 20 listeners.
Oh, and I will bring it up when we get together.
Perfect.
I will totally bring it up.
Well, I think that's it for us this week, Jeremiah.
I lost you.
This is a shorter podcast.
There we go. I'm sorry. My earphones popped out, so I had no idea what you said.
I said, I think that's it for us this week, Jeremiah. Jeremiah was trying to peace out early. He was like, I'm unplugging everything. I got to go.
All right.
You can find us on all your favorite podcasting platforms. Search for Geeking Out Ninjas. We are also on a website called geekingoutninjas.com. We're on Facebook, Geeking Out Ninjas. We're all over the internet on Geeking Out Ninjas. If you are listening to this on a podcast, check us out on YouTube, Geeking Out Ninjas. And I think that covers it.
All right. Then until next week.
Ta-ta. I wasn't ready.